What's good, everybody? This is your boy Wealthy M, and welcome to another day of Podcast Network. And today I'm chilling with a man who needs no introduction. I'm talking about Penuel, the Black Pen. Boo, 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 boo. Welcome, sir.
Wealthy, thank you so much for the invite. You're actually making me feel so old.
Yeah,
You know, like when I stepped outside and you were like, Grootman, I'm like, I don't think I'm a Grootman. And then you told me you're still a teenager. I was like, geez. But I know it's your birthday tomorrow.
Yes.
So happy birthday in advance for tomorrow.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm really honored to have met you today.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate everything for coming, everything.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Grootman, wavumbuka out of nowhere.
Jeez.
Bumaphi.
No, man, it wasn't out of nowhere. It's just... So I'm not a celebrity, I think. I think maybe when my YouTube hits like 100,000 subscribers, because now we're on like 30,000, maybe I'll start calling myself a smolanyana celebrity. I've been making online content for the past couple of years. Just not consistently, not aggressively, and probably not at the scale that we're at now. I'm originally from Newcastle, in KZN. I studied at Rhodes University in Grahamstown, did a BCom in accounting and economics, did my honors in accounting at the University of Johannesburg, worked in banking, became an entrepreneur.
You studied?
I studied,
Yeah.
And then I decided to become an entrepreneur from 2013. Business went sideways 2016. A couple of years later, I'm here now trying to create online content. I've been writing small pieces on Facebook. I've been making impromptu videos specifically on Facebook, now mostly on YouTube. And I think because I've decided to be consistent this year, because I've been working with DJ Spoo, because I've been doing interviews with some impressive human beings, and I think lately the podcast and chill episode got a lot of people onto my radar in a way that's never been done before, because I think it's on like 440,000 views. I think now people know me, but I've been around, just not as noticeable as now.
I just noticed, I think yesterday, that you have more than 400 and something videos on YouTube uploaded. And you started this like probably few years ago. And people just think that you just came now, boom, like that.
It's tricky, because it's like you're asking a question. I haven't been building up. So as much as I have a lot of videos on YouTube, a lot of them are useless. A lot of them are old. There's some funky content there that I probably need to delete.
Yeah, this one you were beaten or something.
Oh no, that was actually makeup. There's a video there.
Oh, that was makeup.
Yeah.
Damn.
I arrived in Joburg in 2008 to come and do my honors in accounting at UJ. When I landed here, I joined an agency to do ads and to do TV work. DJs was the name at the time. I stayed with them for maybe like 2-3 years, and then after that I joined an agency called Gano. I've shot a lot of commercials, TV commercials, maybe over 20 or 30. I've featured as an extra on Generations, Broken Vows, and other TV shows. So I've been around. This is what I was trying to say. It's just I wasn't a big star, you know. But I've made a lot of random content. There wasn't a plan. It's only end of last year, December, that I was like, you know what? I'm starting to study the algorithms. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Consistency is key. So for the first time this year, I'm trying to make videos like almost every day. And number two, even with podcasting like we're doing now, I'm trying to make sure that I do a lot of good content that goes up at the right times, has the right captions or headlines, and is the type of content that specifically young people want to watch. So I've only been serious about online for, I guess it's 8 months now. So the other videos, it's not like I've been working for a while, but
it's just videos.
But I have been creating content, but I'm only focusing on it now. And I'm saying this so that kids that are hearing me, they mustn't think, I need to make 400 videos. You can actually make 5 very powerful videos and just pump them on social media and get people to watch.
What's your drive? Do you want to be like Tupac? Because like you have done a lot of things. Like you have, by the age of in your 30s, you have written books, graduated. What's your drive? What's going on?
When I was young, I wanted to be Michael Jackson. I don't want to be like Michael Jackson. I wanted to be Michael Jackson. As I grew older, I realized that the world is not as simplistic as we think.
Yeah.
You know, our parents, they want us to go to school. When I finished matric, so I was head prefect at school. I was like a top student. Academics, I played first team rugby, provincial rugby, but I wanted to go into art. I wanted to be in advertising. I wanted to come to Joburg and become a celebrity. My marks were good. My mom was like, "Hey, Myambo in the accounting or something serious." So I decided to go the formal route, and it was only when I got back to Joburg that I was like, I still have a dream to be on TV, to make music. As much as I was distracted with work and school, I was like, I won't stop. I wrote. I've written 13 books today. I made mixtapes. Some people haven't heard those. There's a music video of mine online. I've made hip-hop mixtapes, 2 of them. And as I said, I've been making content. I haven't been as focused as I probably am now. I've always been a creative. I've always wanted to be a creative. And now people know me for videos, but I'm hoping that with the platform I have, I'm going to start showing some of my other talents. I don't know if you know Robot Boy.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Robot Boy is extremely talented and people don't know.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
What do you know him for?
Everything. Dancing, music.
Dancing?
Music.
What music?
Music. He makes music.
What music does he make?
Piano, hip-hop, everything.
So Robot Boy now is famous for his dancing videos and for being an MC. His father is a guy called Myambo. Very famous poet, struggle poet from back in the day. He does poetry, he does hip-hop, he can play the drums, he can dance, he can act, he can do art. But people don't know that yet because they only know that. It's like Kanye. People don't know that Kanye can paint and draw very well.
I also don't know that.
So he was at a school for the gifted. But they know him for hip-hop and making beats. And he's like, I can design clothing. I can make stuff. It took 808s and heartbreaks for people to hear that, oh, this guy can actually sing. He is multi-talented. So I'm just trying to explain that some of us have got talents that people are not aware of. And sometimes you have to kind of break through or be known to bring all your other talents that people are not aware of. Let's say you can skateboard. Pharrell Williams, for example, almost went professional with skateboarding. People don't know that. They just know the hip-hop and the... So I'm just saying I think I'm a creative and an artist, and I'm hoping that now I have a platform, people's eyes, people's ears. I can start bringing some of the other cooler stuff that I can do.
So does the seriousness of doing content come after meeting DJ Sbu or...
No. And the sad thing for me is a lot of people are going to think that. It's annoying, it's frustrating, but because I like Sbu, it's fine. Let's say, for example, it was someone else that I don't like who put me on. And now everyone's like, you're the guy who was on Wealthy's podcast. I'm like, fuck Wealthy. But because I love DJ Sbu and I've always admired him, I don't mind. The reality is that last year, December, I decided to get serious. DJ Sbu invited me on his show, The Hustler's Corner.
As a
guest. And after that episode, he was like, man, you need to come back. I was like, sure. Then I came back the second time. Then the people in the comments were like, bring him back again. And we're like, okay, we'll do this once a month. And it turned from once a month to every week. So that wasn't the plan. My plan was to make my content on my phone and then move from there, because I've got a friend of mine who owns a production company called Tribal Media House. They have 4 reality shows on TV currently. Me and him have been shooting videos in the last 2 years because he's got the cameras and the equipment. We were supposed to do work, but then I started working with Sbu. And then people were like, we saw you with DJ Sbu. But I always wanted to do my own work. I appreciate that Sbu has put me on. He's opened me up to an audience, of course. But I've always wanted to do my own thing, and I'm still doing my own thing in the background. I think what's important for kids to understand is, if you've got a dream, whatever your dream is, don't ever sacrifice your dream just because you're in a certain space. What does that mean? It means with the work you're doing now, if you get given an offer on radio, YFM, Metro FM, you need to go back to, what was my dream? Who do I want to be? Do the work at Metro, but don't stop working on your dream at home.
I get it.
Because you could lose the Metro FM gig at any time. You could lose the YFM gig at any time. If you want to play international football and become Cristiano Ronaldo. That's your dream. Now you go to trials for Kaizer Chiefs and you don't make it.
Yeah.
Or you go for trials for Orlando Pirates and you make it, but they put you in like the third team. And you're like, these guys don't want to give me game time.
They're not putting me on, yeah.
And you get sad. And then you go home, they didn't put... What was your dream? Your dream was to be Cristiano Ronaldo. Mm-hmm. Orlando Pirates is just a platform.
Yeah.
You don't have to play for them. You can play for any other team in the world. You can move overseas. Don't let go of your dream. So my dream was to create online content. Spoo is just a partner and a platform. But I need to keep working.
Yeah.
That's why now I've created my own platform, the Penuel Show.
Yeah.
And I'm working with my friend Utebza, which is what we've been wanting to do. I'm not going to stop that because I'm working with Spoo.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop making videos on my phone just because I'm working with Spoo. I'm not going to stop making art just because of Spoo.
Yeah.
People mustn't imprison themselves to a space. Dog, I want to do this hip-hop thing, but I've got a job, I do a 9 to 5, and dog, you do a 9 to 5, but what are you doing from 5 to 11 when you get home?
Yeah.
Make music.
Yeah.
What are you doing on the weekend? Dog, I'm tired. Do you have the dream? Yes.
Yeah.
Write and record.
Same thing to us, like we students or whatever. We students at the same time we have to do something else. Like,
yeah.
I get it, yeah. So, was this the reason why you created the Penuel Show?
I created the Penuel Show because I always needed to create the Penuel Show. It was just a matter of when. I was supposed to create it 2 years ago. At the time, my friend he was running a production company, he still does, but he was working in a very small office. 2 months ago, or a month and a half ago, he bought a house in Randburg and he built proper production studios there. Yeah. So he's like, dog, I'm now ready, let's do this thing.
Can I come and record?
You'll have to speak to him. Because it's not my production company, but I'd like you to come and visit us.
Yeah.
So you can see what I'm doing, speak to him, see how we work.
Yeah. Definitely come, yeah.
Because I think we're in a new time now where we're creating alternative media.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can tell a story.
You can. Yeah.
Sure. Black people, when they got to South Africa from the north, because we come from the Great Lakes in the Congo, we migrated south. The Ntu people, the Bantu people, that's who we are as a collective. We came here and then we got split into different groupings. The Ngoni or the Nguni people was one group. There was obviously the more Sotho-speaking groups. Yeah. They settled in various places, parts of Zimbabwe, parts of what we call KwaZulu today, the Eastern Cape, which is Xhosa, Lesotho and the Free State, which is more Sotho, etc. We came and we built spaces. White Europeans came here, and then they settled. And over time, we built things. We built roads. There were no roads. We built buildings. We built towns.
Did you build or you just walking then a road? Those.
So there's those natural roads where you walk.
Yeah, I mean those ones.
I'm talking about tar.
Yeah.
I'm talking about formal roads. We built formal roads. We built buildings. We built towns. Today we're like, I'm in Johannesburg. It didn't exist.
Yeah.
We built it. And today people are like, shout out, I'm from Joburg, 011.
Yeah.
Media did the same. There was no media. Then people decided, there's something called TV waves in the air. There's something called radio waves. Mm-hmm. Let's build an SAPC. Let's build the radio. And that was built. And today there's TV, there's radio. We're in a space now where we're creating alternative media using the internet.
Yeah.
Wealthy M could become an SAPC in 10, 20 years. People don't know. And people are like, sorry, Mr. Wealthy, we just want to know, how did you start? You're like, man, I was just a 19-year-old kid.
Just tough.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And you built something. I'm trying to explain that we're in a special time now where we're building something and we're going to have to collaborate. Yeah. Because we're the guys building it. Mm-hmm. In 50 years' time, kids are going to be like, I'm creating a podcast. I want to be like Wealthy M.
Yeah.
And you're like, they built it and it didn't exist. It was new.
Yeah.
And because it's new, all of us that are building need to come together. Like, hey, dog, what mic are you using? What camera are you using? Can you come and be a guest?
Yeah.
Can you, hey, how did you get that chick to come on the podcast? They want to speak about her.
Yeah.
And to what you're saying, you're going to need to come and visit what we're doing.
Yeah,
I'm hoping you can come and visit me and DJ Spoo.
Yeah,
even if you're not
Definitely.
on, even if you're not on camera, just behind the scenes to learn.
Yeah, just to learn. Yeah.
So that when you come back, you're like, oh, that's how the guys position their cameras.
Yeah.
That's the microphones they use. That's how they speak, etc. And hopefully, if you keep doing this consistently, in 5 years' time, you're gonna be a professional. It's like being at school.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, hey guys, I'm a podcaster, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a TikToker. I know what I'm doing. I've worked with so many great people. I've collaborated and. So that's where we are now, and that's what I'm trying to do. And because I'm a little bit older than you, and I've got maybe more responsibilities than you.
Yeah.
Do you have kids?
Nah. Yeah.
Why not? Because you're a virgin. Thanks, Walter. You must keep it tight.
Okay. Why does history?
Before you answer, sorry, I've got more responsibilities than you, so I think I'm more. You're still experimental in what you're doing. I'm more focused on specifically what I'm trying to build.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that myself, DJ Spook comes from radio and TV. He's more focused than me. So he teaches me, I teach you, and then we build.
Yeah, I teach the next kid,
There we go.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, why does history matter to you? Why is it important to you?
Are you a student?
Yeah.
What are you studying?
Social work.
Social work?
Yeah.
Why are you studying social work?
Honestly, that's what I got accepted in when I applied.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Thanks for saying that. A lot of kids are studying logistics, marketing. Why are you studying marketing? No, I'm passionate about... They're lying.
Yeah.
It's because that's what they could get into. So that's what you could get into, social work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with that qualification?
Probably go overseas after graduating,
That's your plan?
Yeah, that's my plan.
You guys write exams?
Yeah, we do.
When you study for exams, do you look at past papers?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Because it might help me in... Because like the things that they were studying before, it's exactly what we're studying,
Sure.
Yeah.
So you think the past papers help you to do better?
They do.
So studying history is like studying past papers. So when you look at how the world has worked in the past, like I told you now, people came here, they built roads, they built... If we go to another piece of land where no one has built anything before, we can sit for 5 years and be like, what are we going to do with this land, dog? I don't know. Or we can study history. There are people that came and built farms, or they did mining, or they built Silicon Valley, or they built Las Vegas. If we look at the land we're at and the people we're at, what is the best thing to do? So if you've done past papers, you're like, I've seen a question like this before, dog. I've seen land like this before, dog, in history.
I get it now,
How do we build it? So you do that for land, you do that for human beings, like politics. Politics is constantly being recycled. So you can see that these guys are lying. There's people that... Hitler did this when he was a kid. So these guys are like moving like Hitler. Or these guys are moving like George Bush or Donald Trump. So you literally study history so that you have an advantage to how you move in the world now.
I get it now.
And I just want to add, don't just study world history, world wars and that stuff. Some of the history you need to study is your family. Like find out, why was my dad not rich? Why did my mom marry this loser of a guy?
That's my everyday question. You know, my granddad just left us. Like,
your granddad?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I never had a car, anything. Like,
you don't know his story?
I just know that you worked at Jamestown,
Sure.
Yeah.
So when I ask, do you know his story? That's history. That's the term. Do you know his story? Because once you know his story, it might explain certain things about you. You might find out your granddad was great at telling stories. Everyone used to listen to him. Maybe he was a leader. Maybe he was a pastor.
Was a good guy,
Yeah. And that might explain why you're here today, leading and speaking. Study your own history. Like I said, I wanted to be Michael Jackson. I wanted to be a creative. So that's my history. So I'm like, I've been wanting to do this, dog. So studying history, I think, is very important because it explains why you're here. It explains how you think and how you act.
Your origins,
And then you can move forward and win.
Back to your responsibilities.
At
your 30s, how many kids do you have? Is it 6?
Jeez.
Is it 6?
How old are you? You're 19.
Okay, I'm 20.
You're turning 20 tomorrow. I didn't have kids when I was your age. I'm a father of 6 beautiful, healthy children. I love being a father. I believe I was born to be a father. My father loved children. He had 19.
What?
Yeah.
It's a family thing, I see now.
I think it's a family thing.
Yeah.
My mom loves children. She sadly only had 3 of us, but she tells me that she wanted to have 7.
Yeah.
So my father kind of deprived her of more kids.
Yeah.
I come from a family that loves children. My brother's got 3 boys. Yeah. He loves kids. My sister is 24. She doesn't have children yet, but she loves kids as well. So fatherhood is something that I've always wanted. I'm actually sad that I didn't start having kids earlier. I wanted to have kids at 18. But I only started having kids at 24. Yeah. I've got 6 now. If I am lucky and blessed, I'm hoping to get to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by 24, you had your first one.
Yeah.
So how long did it take to make this? What's the age difference between your children?
My firstborn son, Nkuzmalanga, is 12. He's turning 12.
Hey, why Nkuzmalanga? That name is Nkuzmalanga. It's something else. Nkuzmalanga.
What's Nkuzmalanga?
Man, it's something else. I don't know. But
what do you think it is? I see you making a body of something big.
Yeah.
A beast.
A beast, yeah.
Come on. It's exactly why I named him Nkuzmalanga.
Yeah.
Because I wanted him to have a name that carries weight.
Yeah.
Inkunzi in Nguni language is a bull.
Yeah.
And Nguni people value, our wealth was in cows.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying my son is a cow and a bull, it means I see wealth in him, and it's the cow that is the leader. The Nkuzmalanga just became a term. But his name was Nkunzi. He's turning 12 in September.
Yeah.
His younger sister is 9 years old, so she's turning 10 next year. So they've got a 2-3 year gap.
Yeah.
She's got a twin brother in inverted commas who's also the same age, 9.
Yeah.
And then after them, my next son is Ushaga. So it's Africa at 9, Uzulu, who's 9. Africa, Ushaga, my next son, he is 5 years old.
Yeah.
And then he's got a younger sister, Unkanyezi, who's 3 years old, so they've got a 2-year gap. And then after them, my youngest is Unyanga, Luna, who is turning 2 years old in December.
Yeah.
So I think I've got nice gaps between the kids. Yeah, so I think it's time to have a new release.
Yeah. I was growing at home when you're 19. Because at home we're 4, but hey, we fight like hell. How did you grow up?
How many, you guys, same parents?
Yeah, same parents.
Your father didn't have outside kids?
It does.
How many?
The one that I know is 1.
Just 1?
Yeah, that I know.
Okay. Your mom didn't bring any kids into the union?
No.
Okay, so your mom just has 4 of you?
Yeah.
And then your dad's got an extra 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Boys, girls?
We 4 boys and 1 girl.
How the girl is number what? Number 1, number 4,
The third one from my mom, yeah.
Okay, she wasn't spoiled?
Hey, she's super spoiled.
Super spoiled?
Yeah.
Both of your parents were around growing up?
Yeah.
What do your parents do? You don't have to speak about it if you don't want?
Yeah, let's...
You'd rather not speak about it?
Yeah.
Okay. My mom had 3 of us. I was the firstborn. I am the firstborn. I'm 36, followed by my brother who's 33, Penson. Then my sister who's 24. She came much later, so I think she was like an accident.
Yeah.
Because my gap with my sister's
just
12 years.
Randomly. Yeah.
That gap is too big. So I think the parents were bored one night and then boops, she came. My brother and I fought a lot when we were little in primary, as kids do.
Yeah.
In high school, I think we started getting more calm. And then especially when I went to varsity, I started being an older brother because he started wanting to know what happens in varsity. Yeah. What about girls?
No, the Grootman comes when you hit varsity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I came as a Grootman from varsity. And then when he came to varsity, I was finishing my last year at Rhodes. And we became best friends at that time because he was a first year. He didn't know what was happening. Yeah. He needed someone to show him around in a new town. Yeah. So we became best friends then. My sister has always been close to me because we've got such a huge gap. She was almost like my child. Yeah. My father was not around much. He had kids all over the place. He didn't provide for us. Yeah. So I was largely raised by my mom. Having to raise my sister helped me a lot in learning how to be a dad. So by the time I started having a father, I think I'd already been trained in changing nappies, making formula, waking up at night. I matriculated early at age 17. You're supposed to matriculate at 18. Yeah. So I turned 18 in my first year. at varsity, and then 19 I was in second year. But to what you're asking, we fought a lot, but our relationship grew, I think, over time. And I think now we've got the best relationship because I had kids before my brother, so I got to guide him as a dad. I think when my sister decides to start having kids, my brother and I are also going to help her a lot there. Yeah.
So are you not scared that your dad wasn't around and you might do the same thing to your children as you're having many?
I was scared when Nkunzi was born.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the perfect father. I tried to do everything perfectly. After I got through that, nappies and what, I realized, number one, it's not necessary to try and be perfect.
Yeah.
Number two, I realized that I was trying to compensate unnecessarily for him, which is not necessary as well. I was trying to carry his baggage.
Yeah.
Number three, what I realized is conditioning. In the world we live in, TV, church, school, everyone else tries to tell us what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And we work so hard trying to be perfect for them. Your mom wants you to graduate so you can take pictures and post, your certificate. But is that really what you want? And the answer might be, nah, I want to make music or I want to go overseas. So having my firstborn and even the two that followed after, as much as I tried to be a perfect dad, unlike my dad, I was like, what type of father do I want to be? How many children do I want? Mm-hmm. And who am I doing it for? When my father was living his life, it was for him. He almost didn't really consider us.
Yeah.
I consider my children, but I also consider myself. So I'm not going to try and be a TV father to please other people.
Yeah, I get it.
I want to be a good father for me and for my kids. So what that means is I'm going to make mistakes, probably the same mistakes as my dad, but I'm going to make sure I explain to my kids why I am making those mistakes or at least making those decisions.
Yeah.
I've got children from different moms, which looks bad. Yo, timer, but you that was bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It only does when it's a woman with.
Yeah, we can speak about that.
Yeah.
So it looks bad, but you have to ask, looks bad to who and why? And if I'm providing for my kids, if I'm educating my kids, if they know where to find their father and they know I love them and I'm doing my best for them, that's good enough. If TV and people out there are saying, yeah, but your dad, it's like, no, my dad tells me all the time that he's not like other people's dads. He's my dad. In the same way, you're not like me. We're different. And he's living the best life he can live. Your dad is living his best life. Or your dad might be in prison and he's trying to please other people. Your dad wishes he was my dad. My dad is free. Your dad is in a cage. The reality to what you're saying is society is unfair. For both sides. People say, yeah, men have got male privilege and men get to do what they want. And when a man sleeps with different women, he's a player and he's the man. When a woman does it, she's a slut. So we need to fix some of those imbalances because they're inherited. We need freedom. We need women to be like, I want to have kids with different men. Why can't I? Just because I'm a woman, why not? People can explain why they think it's wrong, but we need to have the conversation. The reason I'm saying it affects both sides is because women have also got female privilege. When you go to like a creche, a preschool, it's mostly females that are there. If you're looking for a nanny for your kids, you want to look for a woman. If you are a man and you kind of abandon your kids, people don't care much. If you're a woman and you do it, you get bashed, which means women get some kind of privilege when it comes to the kids. The kids should be with their mom kind of situation. When people speak about older women, no, we need to protect who? The gogos. No one speaks about protecting omkhulu, who are also maybe weak and sick. So women have got their own types of privileges where people want to protect and defend them. But we need to have the conversation of, should we rechange how society works?
I think we should.
Why?
On the matter that you touched on of we mostly think of our gogo. It's okay, ugogo kumele. We have to take care of ugogo, and then slash cool. That's mostly the situation. It's okay, I'm cool. Yeah. So that's the reason I think we should. Yeah.
You believe in gender equality?
Never thought about that.
Do you think men and women are equal?
Yeah.
In what way?
All sorts of ways.
We have the same strength?
I believe we do.
Physically?
Physically, no.
So there's a part where we're not the same?
Yeah.
Physically?
Yeah.
Mentally?
We're the same.
You think men and women are equally intelligent?
Yeah.
Why have men created more things, invented more things, dominated societies more than women?
Because women, back then, women were not allowed to do certain things. So they were not, in fact, they were not allowed to, like, for example, women were not allowed to work. You'd be like, hey, hey.
Sure.
You see those kind of things.
But if they were equal of mind, would they not have fought back and convinced the men?
They did.
They did?
Yeah.
That's why we're here today?
Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you. I just wanted to know that.
Yeah.
There are no men's shelters around. There are women's shelters. That's why you hardly see women on the streets.
Yeah.
There are female shelters, there are shelters for children. Men are treated almost as dogs in society.
Yeah.
Where the man is expected to kind of find his own way. Male suicide is probably 3 times higher than female suicide because men are under strain and we're expected to be stronger, but we're not, to what you're saying. And we end up taking our lives. Some men take their lives because they don't have access to their kids, because of female privilege. Because but the child is with their mom, why are you crying? You're just a man.
Yeah.
Toughen up.
Yeah.
Boys don't cry. So I agree that we need to equalize society. You have a younger sister?
Yeah.
Do you think in your experience with your mom and your sister, that has shaped why you believe that we're equal and why we should fight for gender equality?
Yeah.
In what way? What experiences have you seen where maybe your mom didn't get treated fairly or maybe your sister wasn't treated fairly just because they are female?
Any experience? Let me check. There's times where so my father is an old guy, right?
What do you mean he's an old guy? He's old?
Yeah, he's an old guy.
Sure.
So in his mind, he still have those systems where, whatever he suffers from. So sometimes the way he treats my mom is like, dog, you don't have to do that.
Sure.
So, right? So she also come from the same period whereby you are the man, you do the stuff, the woman listens to the man. Yeah. And sometimes these situations whereby she could have said, no, I don't want this. But because of those systems on her mind, she can't.
Sure.
Yeah, so...
Do you see the same thing happening with a new generation being your sister? Was she also treated differently because she's female?
Nah, my sister's the young and everything.
You guys are treated all the same?
Yeah.
And you believe because of that we need society to move in that direction?
Yeah.
How do you feel about nature and the fact that some people say that in nature, the male and the female animals don't treat each other the same? Do you think human beings are trying to be different? Do you think we are different to other animals?
We are, definitely.
Sure.
Definitely sure, we are.
Why should we not copy nature?
We, on everything that was created on earth, we are the ones who take care of earth. We are the one who's responsible for everything. We're more intelligent more than a lion. Because you can take a lion and put it in a cage.
Yeah.
But a lion cannot do that.
Yeah.
So we reason, we speak, so that's why, yeah.
You believe that we have to be different?
Yeah.
How's life as a 19-year-old?
What do you mean, how's life?
Speaking in terms of gender, speaking of how you're seeing the world now. You speak about human beings being intelligent. You speak about how we're not lions. I'm 36.
Yeah.
You're saying your father's old and he comes from an old school system.
Yeah.
How do you see the world as a 19-year-old? What's wrong with it and where should we be fixing things?
There's a lot wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. especially with our generation, there's a lot wrong.
Just hit me with like 1, 2, 3 things.
On the gender one, it's not something that I think about mostly, but what I think mostly about almost every day, it's mostly likely the unemployment of youth in South Africa right now.
Yeah.
You find just a 20-year-old like me doing nothing. It's like it's something else, because like we go to the same primary school, high school, and then after that, the next time we meet each other, it's something else. It's like, what happened? It's like,
what's the solution, in your opinion, to unemployment for the youth?
I don't know, man. They should just have to create something.
Who?
The government.
You believe the government is the one that must help the youth get jobs?
No, I don't. Actually, I don't know why I said the government.
Okay.
Actually, we need businessmen who can come up with big business ideas and implement them.
Sure.
Like Wuba to drip and stuff, yeah.
We need more old or young people creating businesses.
For now, we need both for unemployment,
sure.
for unemployment, right? Then when at least we have a small number of unemployment, then we can say younger people, you can it's your opportunity to go like more than the older ones.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you think the older ones should push to build the businesses until more young people have jobs?
Yeah.
Do you think the schooling system is preparing kids to be able to work?
Definitely
or
not.
to start businesses?
Definitely to work.
But is it preparing you? Do you think young people after school are able to work?
No.
Why not?
The system is just, it needs to be changed.
In what way?
It's the way it is implemented, right? It is implemented for you to study, work. That's what I hate, actually. They say go to school, after school, you're going to graduate, get a job, in which it's a lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie. You can see the numbers are there. It's a lie. So what's the use?
So you're sitting in parliament. You've been invited to parliament.
Yeah.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says, we've got Wealthy here, a teenager from Johannesburg who believes he has solutions for us as government.
Yeah.
What would you say to Cyril to change the schooling system so that kids are better equipped?
They need to change everything.
Must they close the schools?
No. From primary schools, they have to change the way they educate people.
In what way? So Cyril is waiting. Angie Motsega's like, please tell us what we must do. What must we change?
There's some things that we shouldn't be learning.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe they need to add something like subjects whereby you can learn how to be creative. In some schools, there is no art, there's nothing.
So more schools need art?
Yeah, they need art. They need like something that they can work, like physical, I don't know what they call it.
Working with your hands,
yeah,
practical subjects.
Yeah, practical
so more
subjects.
Schools need practical subjects.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even not just subjects, even with the information, they need to implement something that's gonna make you think on another level.
Yeah.
Like, they should change your mindset. The moment you get to school, your mindset should change.
How do you change a mindset of a young person?
You change what they read and write. Because like you can find out that the same thing that you study at school, they still study it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and it's
what's
outdated.
the change? What's the change?
So you're saying the education that we had in the past is still the same now, even though the world has shifted.
Yeah.
So we need to find education that is more aligned to the world we live in today.
Not even the world that we live in for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the internet is part of that education?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Is that part of the reason you're podcasting?
Yeah. If you want to be smarter, no more, just go to the internet.
Yeah.
It has everything.
What has the internet done for you?
Everything. And I know how to use this thing now because of internet. Just go and Google how to use a mic. Somebody will appear and they will teach you how to use this thing.
But why are you doing this? What's the reason?
Podcasting.
Why are you podcasting?
Actually, I spoke about this on the previous episode. The reason I have few different reasons, but the main one is like we see the system. You go to school, you go to primary school, you pass, you go to high school. After high school, it's tertiary. And then you get a 9 to 5, you work Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sunday, you're tired.
Yeah.
What time do you have to do anything that you like yourself?
Yeah.
So I don't want to do the same thing that happened to my father or anyone in my family system.
You don't want a 9 to 5?
No, I don't actually.
What do you want?
I want to do what I love.
Which is what?
Podcasting, being creative.
But why are you podcasting?
Yeah, I'm going there, right?
Sure.
So I'm trying to do something that I love. Like, so you graduate, you get a 9 to 5, you work, you retire, you die.
Sure.
So did you live your life there? Nope, you didn't.
Okay.
So I'm trying to live my life as best as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to have something that after 20 years I can be like, at 20, I was doing that. That was me trying to hustle, yeah.
Are you willing to podcast from 9 to 5 every day?
Yeah.
So this could be your 9 to 5. It's just a matter of what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're saying you don't mind the 9 to 5? Because initially said you have an issue with the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You don't mind the 9 to 5 as long as you're doing what you love.
As long as it's what I love, yeah.
What do you love about podcasting in particular?
Conversations.
I'm listening. What about conversations? We have conversations outside. Why don't you just have conversations outside?
On podcasts, we have conversations that were never had before. You won't find it on radio, you won't find it on TV, not anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And then what I enjoy about podcasting is just sitting here and talking.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it. There's not, I don't know how I feel when I'm just sitting on this chair talking.
Do you have something unique to share with the world?
Unique like how?
Is there something different? Why must people listen to you?
That's a difficult question. Nah.
Should people listen to you?
Yeah.
Why? What about you is interesting? Why should people tune in and listen to Wealthy? They're like, oh, okay, he likes podcasting, but what's special about him? What's special about you, besides your gold teeth?
I need to rethink that right. Back to you. Let's go to your religion. Your own religion. How do you come up with your own religion?
Before I answer my religion, why do you have gold teeth?
Hey. Story for another day. Super long.
I'm a huge student of life. What that means is people go to school to pass. People go to varsity to get a qualification. Mm-hmm. Some people, even when they're working, they get additional degrees because they want to get promotions. Yeah. They do it with an end in mind. I'm studying because my mom is going to shout at me. I'm studying because I want a job. Yeah. I study life because I want to be knowledgeable, which means I go beyond what other people study. And in studying life, I meet human beings. I try to get into their heads, figure out what's a 19-year-old thinking about today. Yeah. The fact that he's got 3 other siblings, the fact that he loves podcasting and is studying social work, because I genuinely want to know. I could ask you about your name, Wealthy. Yeah. You know, which if you translate it to some people, it's umbuso or umnoto as an example. Yeah. I do that for all life. I do it for what's called interesting people. Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Hitler, Barack Obama, Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Robert Mugabe, Nelson Mandela. Because I'm a student of life. Once you've done the surface level, studying your family and yourself, you go deeper into history. I realize that the world that we live in now is split in 2. There's a real world, and there's almost a imaginary fiction world. The real world is this table. This is real. Yeah. We go outside and we see water and we see grass. It rains. Yeah. That's the real world. Then there's a world that human beings have created. Animals don't have this world. When we speak about lions, lions live in the wild. Yeah. Grass and trees and water. Human beings live in there, but they've created these things like the law and prisons. Lions don't have prisons. Yeah. And we've written books. Lions don't have books. And we've created music. Okay, animals make sounds. But we have like formalized music that you can replay. That's like a fictional world that human beings have created.
Mm-hmm.
And this fictional world has become more influential than the real world. What I'm trying to say is when you're born, your parents want to put clothes on you. A monkey doesn't put clothes after they're born.
Yeah.
But human beings have convinced you that you need clothes. Human beings have convinced you that mama, he must go to preschool, he must go to grade 1.
Yeah.
That's not real. We created that. Which church do you go to? Are you Muslim? That's not real. We created that. I don't know if this fictional world we've created is good for us anymore. Because of unemployment, because of poverty, because of depression, suicide. Kids are miserable and lost. Monkeys, lions are not miserable and lost. They're just living.
Yeah.
They don't have this fictional world. And you realize this fictional world was created by a few people that wanted to dominate human beings and dominate nature. That's why we have lions in cages. That's why we have circuses and zoos. When I look at the people that created these systems, this world, I looked at the various systems they have and where I want to play. Money. Animals don't have money. We created money and it influences us in a major way.
Yeah.
Do I want to become a billionaire and influence the world? Maybe. I don't know. Will I enjoy it like a 9 to 5? No. Do I want to become a politician and become Nelson Mandela?
Yeah,
I am Nelson Mandela, I believe. No. Do I want to become a super celebrity and become Michael Jackson and dance on stages?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I could enjoy that. I wanted that when I was a kid. But then I looked at the different layers and I realized Michael Jackson, Barack Obama, all these guys, even money, it falls back to belief systems as a core. Our schooling system, our laws, they come from Christianity, from Judaism, from Islam. And once you have that foundation like a house of Islam, then you can say, oh, as Muslims, this is what we think about money. As Muslims, no, we're not going to have girls twerking in videos. As a Jewish man, I don't believe in going to stay in North Korea. So I'm like, if I want to change the world, I need to change this foundation. And for me, I realized that now becomes religion. How do I build a religion that influences everything else? Because if you believe in my religion of Penuelism, and I convince you, fiction, not real, I convince you that don't wear clothes. We are chimpanzees. When someone says wear clothes, you're like, no. My religion says I mustn't do that. In the same way, certain religions like Islam, the women cover themselves and you only see their eyes. It's like the opposite of being naked.
So, in other words, are you trying to colonize people?
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build or offer a new foundation for the world so that people can live better. So that there's less poverty. So that if someone says, I don't have money to go to school, it's like Penuelism says you don't need to go to school. Penuelism says you can get education from the internet, from Wealthy's podcast. But I don't have a job. Penuelism says free your mind. A job is just something human beings created. You can go out and hunt. You can go and create your own things. You can grow your own food. Penuelism says you don't have to wear new clothes every day because people are going to laugh at me. I don't have the latest sneakers. And Penuelism says be free because you don't need all of that. So I just want people to be happier. And this is my contribution to the world.
Is that why people should follow you?
Doctors exist for sick people. If you're sick, you go to a doctor. If you're looking for knowledge, before the internet now, you go to a school, to a teacher. Anyone who is rich, successful, has a great body, is beautiful, famous. I am not your doctor. You're winning in the system. For the people that are losing, you're depressed, you're not seeing your children, your family's fighting, you're hungry, you don't have a job, and you're like, Pen, I've gone to church, I pray every day, but this panang is tall. I've been trying to do this thing, I've been going to school, my life is not going anywhere. I might be the doctor that you're looking for, because I might offer you certain healing medication solutions that you're not finding where you are. For the people that are in those systems that I can see they're not happy, you're famous, you're rich, but maybe you don't have time for your kids. Maybe you're too fat. Maybe you're too thin.
Yeah.
When I speak to you, I can see that history, his story, like your grandfather. I can see that this guy is famous and rich, but there's something lacking in his life. He's got a 9 to 5, he makes 50,000 rand a month, he's got a nice car. But I can see, what do you do on the weekends? Pen. I mean, I drink, and I just, you're not happy. That means there's a sickness somewhere, and maybe I can heal that.
Yeah.
So Penuelism is just for people that are not fully satisfied with how their lives are.
Yeah.
Who maybe feel like maybe the world is not the way it should be. And I'm saying, I think I can offer a different way of moving.
Yeah. What was your religion before Penuelism?
I was baptized Roman Catholic because of my mom and my dad. So I went to Roman Catholic church. We weren't really church people at home. So let's say on average once a month. And then from there, I joined the choir. I was a huge choir boy. I used to sing. And in the choir, we performed at a lot of different churches. So I got to see different churches.
Yeah.
When I got to university, I met a lot of kids that were very religious. Pen, you must be born again. You must get confirmed. And I was like, why? I decided to read the Bible, which is a huge mistake. I know most Christians, almost all Christians, have never read the Bible from beginning to end. I read it. And I was like, shit. This book is not what I thought it was. This God person is not who I thought he was. If you look at the Christian God as an example, this is a person who flooded the world when he got jealous that people were worshipping idols. This is a person when Moses was trying to free the Israelites, decided to punish the Egyptians by killing their firstborn sons. Innocent kids that had done nothing. This is the person that decided that it was going to be 2 of each animal and the rest of the animals were going to be flooded. This is the person that when the devil was testing Job, decided that, you can kill Job's family and kill his livestock. I'll prove to you that he believes in me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to follow that guy. I was like, let me look at the Islamic God, Allah. Let me look at the Jewish God in the Torah. And I learned that the Christian, Islamic, Jewish God are all the same God.
Yeah.
All of them come from Abraham. They're called Abrahamic faiths. This is now why you study history. They're all Abrahamic faiths. They just have a different leader. So it's the ANC under Jacob Zuma, the ANC under Cyril, the same ANC. This one is just led by Jesus. This one's just led by Muhammad. This one is maybe Moses. Then you're like, okay, let's go outside of Abraham. Let me look into Buddhism. Who's Buddha? It was a guy in Asia who decided to go on a spiritual journey. And he wrote a book which became his writings.
Yeah.
What else is out there in the world? And I learned that everyone just has a belief system that someone convinced them of. That's when I left religion. And after I left religion, I was angry because I realized black people believe in this white Jesus that wasn't even white, because if he was from the Middle East, we know through history that the people that lived there were not white people.
Yeah.
But this Jesus character is white. And the people that came to Africa to colonize and oppress us and bully us came with the same Bible. And you're like, But later on I realized that, look, you don't have to be angry because there's a lot of good in the Bible.
Yeah.
But I realized I think I can build my own thing. So I started off Christian, went through a journey, and then today I've built my own. I call it a religion just because it's easier for people to understand.
Yeah.
But it is fundamentally a belief system on how to live a life. Yeah.
Yeah. Enough about religion.
Are you religious?
I'm on break for now.
I listened to you speaking about gender equality and how you feel we should be pushing for gender.
Yeah.
And the Bible speaks about how Eve came from the rib of Adam. It speaks about how women must submit to their men. And if anything, the Bible as a book almost says that women are just below men.
Yeah.
Which, if you believe in gender equality, means you're kind of fighting what God intended.
Yeah.
Are you religious?
I'm Christian, but I'm on break.
You're on a break?
Yeah, I'm on a break, yeah.
You trying to find yourself?
Yeah.
But are you trying to find yourself, or are you just suspended?
I suspended for now. Yeah.
Why are you scared of trying to find meaning and true meaning and answers?
No, the reason I'm on break, it's not all about that. It's just that going to church, and everything is just something that it's not easy to believe right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Bushiri came and someone woke from death to, you see, so it's like there's a lot going on. So I decided to, no.
Is church the reason that you've suspended your beliefs?
Yeah.
If church was different, if church was a podcast and it had cool people and you got to laugh and you got to make money and have jobs, because you spoke about a 9 to 5 that you don't like it, and I understand what you mean. You don't like standard jobs.
Yeah.
But you said you're willing to do 9 to 5 podcasting.
Yeah.
So you'd be willing to maybe go to church if church was different.
Yeah, if it was different.
So the issue is church.
Yeah, the issue is church.
You must read the Bible.
We'll try.
You might go back to Christianity and you might become the type of leader that young people need, because you'll be like, guys, I use the Bible and I realize we don't have to be sitting here in church and singing with Okoko. We can go out into nature and have fun and have a party, and we party for Jesus and have a good time.
I get it.
Because Jesus used to, turn water into wine. So he was very much about partying.
We should drink wine. Ah, we know that one. Yeah. Why are you always wearing black?
It's because I don't have money. You must give me money. I want to be wealthy like you.
Come on, I'm super broke. Why?
You're super broke?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I tell you.
As part of my belief system, one of the principles is something called minimalism. Minimalism means living with just the basics that you need.
Yeah.
Different people credit minimalism to different schools of thought, where it comes from. I particularly like the Japanese very much. The Japanese have got life philosophies that I think a lot of us need to study in depth. Ikigai being one of them. Ikigai being finding your purpose. What is your purpose in life? Minimalism says live with the very basics. And when you live with the basics, what that means is you start looking at all the aspects of your life and figuring out what matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do I really want to go to school? Do I really want to have 50 sneakers?
Yeah.
Do I like drinking with the gents? What is it that I really like? And the things that you don't like, you start getting rid of. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fashionista. Yeah. I'm not like stylish. Hey, dog, yasmin into. So I realized I can get rid of fashion. And when I did that, again, studying history, Albert Einstein, very famous scientist, said he wore the same clothes every day because having to choose what to wear every day distracts his brain from doing important scientific work. Mm-hmm. Then you look at someone like Steve Jobs, who wore a black polo neck every day and ugly sneakers. It's because he was like, I don't value fashion the way you do. Mark Zuckerberg, for a long time, wore the same type of t-shirt and hoodies because he was like, I'm building Facebook, dog. I'm not like a model. I don't need to worry about that. So I am prioritizing what's important to me. And to what I was saying about animals, I wish we could be more naked, personally. It would be healthier for us because we'd be in the sun and the sun gives us vitamin D. But because we live in this world where you can't be naked, it's called public indecency and you can get arrested because of these fictional worlds that have been created. The best I can do is to be as natural as possible. And natural colors for me are black. Yeah. It means I can repeat clothes and people won't notice. Yeah. I can repeat clothes and people won't see it. It means I don't have to wash the stuff all the time. Yeah. And it gives me some kind of identity. And we love identity because if you look at, when you go to a school, it has a uniform. If you work for a certain company, some of them have uniforms. If you are a medical doctor and you're wearing a white coat and you're wearing a stethoscope, you're like, that's a doctor. If you're a rapper, but you come in wearing a suit and a tie, and they're like, oh, Wealthy, how are you? No, I'm fine. What do you do? I do rap. They're like, dog, you don't look like a rapper, dog. So there's kind of a uniform, and this is kind of my branding for now. Yeah. Until future, where we decide to either go naked, or I decide to start making my own clothing for people that follow my belief system. Yeah.
I have two last questions, right? The first one is back to maintaining or supporting your kids. You made a video that you want to stop supporting your children, something like that. Secondly, why did you leave working for apps?
I swore earlier. I didn't ask before if I'm allowed to swear.
You can.
Jeez. Fuck the kids. Man, fuck. I've actually got a book that I've written on parenting called Hey Man, Fuck These Kids. It's obviously a provocative title, but the book doesn't speak to some of my thoughts around parenting, but I want people to understand that children are not as important as we think they are. That's going to be another conversation you and I must have.
Yeah.
Children are not as important as we think they are. They are a part of life, an important part of life, but they're not more important than like old people or normal people. So in the way we raise our kids, we need to raise them more realistically. You know, the reason why so many young kids are fucked and are unemployed and are depressed is because their parents spoiled them too much. They weaken them too much. The story of the Lion King is beautiful for many reasons. But one of the reasons is we get to see a present father spending time with the son, Mufasa and Simba.
And then the son becomes weak. Yeah.
And what we see with Mufasa and Simba is that Simba's like, I want to be like you, Dad. And Mufasa goes around showing him what it means to hunt, to take care of Pride Rock. That there's certain places you don't need to go to because they're dangerous because you're young. But he was teaching him real skills. So if your dad works, your dad is meant to be showing you, Wealthy, this is how I work. This is where I go in the morning. This is the money I deal with. Yeah, your mom is stressing me out. Real life, I'm going to drink now because I'm stressed, or I'm going to chill na my cheetah. Not a dad who's like, hey, my boy, are you fine? Are you sure? Can I get you another?
Yeah.
That's not a real dad. That's someone who's trying to copy what he's seeing on TV.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. And that's why we end up weak, because your dad didn't teach you how to be a man. And he didn't teach you how he lives. So you can be strong. So then when I'm like, dog, what was your dad doing at 19? Yeah, I don't know, dog. Because he didn't teach you.
Yeah.
So your question about providing and my kids. I provide for my kids, so I need to emphasize that for now. Yeah. I choose peace, not war. I provide for my kids, but I was trying to open a conversation of what is the point of maintaining children? Why do we have children? In a situation where myself, I don't live with my children, I only see them as and when, is there a need for me to maintain my kids, and why? And how much is maintenance? Back in the day, we had children because our children were tools. Like a hammer. Your father would have land, he'd have cows, and he'd be like, hey, well, so you'd become his messenger. Yeah. And then he'd tell your sister, hey, so you became his workers. And in the work, obviously, if your sister doesn't know how to cook, your mom would teach her. That's the Simba moment. Simba's mom was Sarabi. So Sarabi's going to teach your sister how to cook, so that when she's old, she's like, Mom taught me how to cook. Dad taught me how to bring the cows in. If I as a man have children and my children are not with me, my cows are not with me, what is the point of me feeding them? My kids are busy working for their mom. They make tea for their mom. Their mom gets to enjoy spending time with them and having conversation. If you are my son, I'm getting to enjoy you. But your mom is in Cape Town. But I'm like, hey, you must send money for Wealthy. Who's that? Your son. Yeah. I don't even know him. What does he do? What can he do for me? What value does he add in my life? Why must I send money? Just because the law says so? Maybe the law needs to be reconfigured to say the parent who is benefiting from the child must provide. And if the people benefiting from the child is not your parents, it's either government, because the children are going to vote for them, or it's big business, because one day your child must go work for them. Maybe big business must raise your child and fund your child. Maybe the government or child grants must fund your child. Because you're like, I'm not going to raise a child for 18 years, 25 years, and then my child is going to go work to make you rich and not make me rich. I was raising this child for you. That means you must pay me for that child. Yeah. So it was just opening a conversation, not so much saying me, I want to maintain my kids. Fuck these kids. Yeah. It was me just saying, guys, let's have an honest conversation about what are we doing? What does parenting mean? Why do we need money for our kids? Why do we send them to school? Why do they need medical aid? Why do they need fancy sneakers? Yeah. That's basically all it was with the providing for the kids. Why did I leave ABSA? So I did my BCom accounting economics. I did my honors in accounting. And then I went to go and work for a mentor of mine, a great friend of mine, who founded a company called EmpoweredX, which does BEE verifications. First BEE verifications agency in the country. Co-founded it with Chow Chow. They used to work for PricewaterhouseCoopers. They were seconded to the UK, where they learned about ratings agencies. They brought it back to South Africa. And then they pitched it to Cyril Ramaphosa, who was in charge of the BEE commission, in a nutshell. I worked for Vuyo Check in a company called Africa Empowered. After working for him for 8 months, I then joined ABSA as a credit risk analyst under personal loans. I worked there for a year and a half, and then I got headhunted by Standard Bank to work in vehicle and asset finance as a credit manager.
Yeah.
I was there for 9 months before I quit. Why did I quit? I quit because I was never meant to go and study accounting and economics.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a creative. I did it for my mom.
Yeah.
Why did I start working in the first place? Well, I had the degree.
Yeah.
But more importantly, my partner at the time was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And because of what you were asking about my dad, I didn't want to fuck up like my dad. So I want to be perfect dad. So I was like, I'm going to go get a nice job, and because I'm expecting my son.
Yeah.
So I got a job working in banking to provide for my son. Later on, I had 2 more kids. In that time, I opened my first formal business. I had a fish and chip shop in Gandhi Square in Johannesburg. And then I also had a trucking business where I was moving furniture in Joburg, and I started doing loans. I was loaning people money.
Yeah,
a loan shark.
I'm still doing it. I need like some young 5K.
Yeah, if you like your knees, you mustn't come to me. If you don't like your knees, then no, I'm getting out of the loans business for various reasons. Yeah, I'm still in it.
I need money.
I've got no money for you. You must leave me alone. I'm trying to get out of the business because of the type of brand I'm trying to build. But I do still support Stokvels. I think more people need to build Stokvels as a mini banks. You, your 3 siblings, your 2 brothers and your sister, your mom, your dad, any other family members, if all of you every month through your various hustles were putting in 50 Rand a month, and let's say there's 100 of you, that's 50 Rand times 100 is 5,000 Rand a month. That's 60,000 Rand a year that you guys have as a family. And anytime you need cash, you borrow from the family and you pay them back with interest. And you guys build your own little family bank. So anyways, that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
I had the trucking business. I was doing loans. Because I was making money and I no longer relied on the jobs, I was ready to quit. So in the month, May 2013, when I was expecting my 2 kids, Africa no Zulu, I quit my job at Standard Bank and I went on to become a full-time entrepreneur. Trucking, I had a bit of money, so I bought some meter taxis. So I had cabs. I was doing the loans. Very rarely I did TV work here and there. I'd written some books, so I was selling my books. And I was doing various forms of hustling. I had some cows, I had some pigs.
Yeah,
I was hustling. But
that's how you work with teachers.
Maybe
that's what he had.
That's why I looked up to DJ Spoo.
Yeah.
And maybe it was that hustling energy which maybe DJ Spoo could feel in me. Yeah.
Who wrote your bio? It seems like it was you. Your biography is so nice.
It's so nice.
It's like, I don't know, you're reading a love letter. It's so nice. You wrote it. Just admit.
I wrote my bio.
Yeah.
There's an amazing series on YouTube called Kosher Money, which is a Jewish kid called Eli Langer interviewing other older Jewish people, asking them various questions. Where should we invest? What should we do about money, etc. One of the guys he interviews is a financial manager for very wealthy people called Naftali Horowitz. One of the questions Eli asks Naftali is, should people learn how to manage their own money? And Naftali says, if you have time to learn the skills to manage your own money, please do it. If you have the time, the patience, and the skills. Otherwise, find the most qualified person you can afford to manage your money. Elon Musk is an engineer. He builds, he creates, he designs. People are like, Elon Musk is a businessman. He's like, I'm not a businessman. There are accountants and lawyers and other people that do business. I'm an engineer. I've been writing since I was young. I've got 13 books, got 1 million diaries. I write a fuckload of shit on Facebook and Twitter. I write. So if someone has to write my bio, I'm the best person to do it because I have the skill. I don't need to outsource it. For someone else who sucks at English, who doesn't want to write, they must then outsource it. But I wrote my bio.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. I know at some point I hijacked your podcast and I asked you a few questions.
It's nothing.
But I'm fascinated in the minds of younger people. I'm a bit older. I'm not that old, but I'm a bit older. And I know some of the things older people miss, it's because they don't speak to young people. And it's also because young people are not speaking. So it's important that people like yourself speak louder. Mac G is old now. He might be youngish, but he's old. We need 16-year-olds jumping on podcasts and saying, yeah, I want to break my virginity. Yeah, I saw this hot chick, dog, and fuck, and I don't know how to use a condom. Like, we need young people so that those of us with experience can be like, oh shit, this nigga's about to fuck up his life. Nah, dog, please, hear me out. Before you go fuck that chick, have you considered these things? We need young people to be like, school is trash. Tell us why. And then someone will be like, no, but school is cool. And someone else will be like, nah, the kids are right. We didn't need school back in the day.
Yeah.
So shout out to what you're doing here. And I hope you'll keep doing this. And please don't be afraid to speak.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter if you think you're talking shit and you're like, I don't know. Say it. It's your thoughts. It's what makes you you. It's what makes you powerful. So own your words, dog. And always roar them out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Walter.
Thank you, Grootman.
Easy.
And till next time.